Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They've been cooking these last couple months. Winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
And if you extrapolate that out to a full season, they'd be 14-2. And anyone in the NFL today would sign up for that.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they've been playing well, really well. Winners of 5 of their last 7, but losers last time out. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
I loved our discussion this week. You know, we had our weekly phone call to talk about our game coming up. And we had to reflect on the fact that he won the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award last week, yet his team lost. You don't see that very often.
No, I know a lot of people dislike that, but when you look at the numbers across the conference from last week, he was clearly the best. So I say the award goes to him, and it did.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. He was so good, they just couldn't ignore him. Big
Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, and the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football.
And the pressure gets to him again. Sheldon Rankins in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback, the former Purdue Boilermaker. It's Drew Brees.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
And running back Mark Ingram is coming into his own as a runner in the NFL. Over 1,000 yards each the last 2 seasons. And now he's teaming with Alvin Kamara in a backfield where both of them can run the football effectively and both of them can catch out of the backfield as well.
Brees going to throw. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very solid gain of 27. Brees now on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 6 there on 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Ready. Ready.
Breeze to throw again. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Breeze to another longtime vet, Ginn, for the New Orleans first. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. And
he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Benjamin Watson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints have taken the early lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake. They've taken care of that early.
This man was a Saint for 3 years. It's Darren Sproles. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
To throw is Wentz. Dancing to his left. And, boy, that one drops incomplete. But if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
So we've seen some good pressure defensively already here in the first quarter. Here's another good example.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Wentz to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the... The execution of that defense right there. Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Time to peek at the defensive starters. Here they are for Philadelphia. Now they come into this one down at the 27th position in the league, Charles, against the run.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Alvin Kamara really settling into the league in his second season. And, of course, he came out of Tennessee, but not a lot of people remember he started at Alabama.
He did and got caught in that big mix of running backs at Bama. And they like those bigger, thicker runners, those guys who can break down defenses through the middle. Alvin Kamara ended up leaving Alabama, going to a junior college for a while. I believe he went to Hutchinson Junior College before matriculating at Tennessee and finding his way to the NFL, where he is now a star.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
We're waiting.
And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
Throwing now is Breeze. And that's complete. It's Watson. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Breeze now 8 of 8 throwing the football in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10.
We're waiting.
Here's Breeze. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Breeze to throw on 2nd down. It's brought in right side by Ginn. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him, and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
Ingram's got the first down and more. And